Delighted to talk with Chris Kermode, Executive Chairman and President of the ATP. Chris, big announcement today. Tell us the news.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge event for us that we're launching today, that we've just announced to the world's press, the ATP Cup, which is a 10-day event, 24 teams in Australia. We're doing it in partnership with Tennis Australia to launch the season in week one. And, we start the ATP Tour season in January with this event, and it will go through to November and finish here at the ATP Finals.
A few things to pick up on. So from 2020, how long has this been in the making?
We've been working on this now for about over 4 years, and when I started the job, which was 5 years ago, in the first 6 months of that in that role, I was thinking of how can we expand and grow and evolve as a tour, and looking at new events, building our existing big events, our Masters events, and we started the Next Gen Finals, which was a new event, launching the new stars and also test casing innovation. And then we also worked on how can we get an event at the start of the year to launch our season in a big way, in a meaningful way. And what was the World Team Cup was an ATP-owned event that lasted for 35 years. It's been off the shelf for a bit, and we thought we'd bring that back, and we've relaunched it as the ATP Cup.
Lots of change this year across the board with team events in tennis. How much has there been dialogue with the other governing bodies of tennis?
We've been talking for a long time now, really, the last 4 years, and then when we started to talk about the ATP Cup, obviously there's a lot of interest. The calendar is a busy calendar. We have 64 events on the ATP Tour. But we thought it was important to engage with everybody in tennis, so the ITF and all the Grand Slams. And very recently, we've had some really, really good meetings about the future of the sport and how we can all work together. And that's across everything. That's across ranking points and prize money distributions, talking about, the calendar itself and how that works. And, looking to the future, I think, we're going to continue that really good dialogue.
I know you work very much with the players. Novak was with you at the presentation today. What are the players most excited by with this?
I think it's an event that, a team event that the ATP owns, and they're very proud of that. The ATP is a unique organisation that's co-owned by 50% by the players and 50% by the tournament owners. So I think to have their own event that they can feel a part of, be involved in having a big say in how this works, they're very, very excited about this event.
Are there any concerns with the schedule right at the start of the year and what happens with the other events in January?
So, we looked at the calendar. To try and find a space in the calendar is very, very difficult. It has a knock-on effect. And what we were very conscious of, we didn't want to do an event that is additive to the calendar. So you put in a big event, players can only play so much. And so if you put a big event in midway in the calendar or anywhere in the calendar, it will have repercussions to other events, maybe not initially in that week, but maybe a month, 6 weeks down the line. Players will, if they play in a new big competition, they might decide to miss something else. So we didn't want to do that. We wanted to be protective of our events. And in week one, historically, 9 out of the top 10 have always played week one. So whether they play, whatever the event is, they're playing that week anyway. And that's why week one works as a sort of calendar flow and least damage to any other events. Plus, the start of the season, everyone's fresh, everyone's healthy, everyone's up for a new season, and it gives us an opportunity to launch the ATP Tour that season in a big, meaningful way.
Australia, I guess, an obvious choice given what's just about to happen in the calendar. When will we find out where in Australia?
So soon, they're going through a tender process at the moment, but it will be 3 big cities in Australia. The sporting culture in Australia was also a huge factor. We want the stadiums to be full and full of atmosphere and a great sense of sporting occasion, which the Aussies always bring. Their partnership, our partnership with Tennis Australia, they've proven to be great promoters of the game, and we're super confident that this connection between Tennis Australia and the ATP is a big move forward.
And what are the fans going to be watching, Chris? How's the format going to work?
So it's 24 teams, there's 6 groups of 4, so there'll be group stages spread across the 3 cities, and then we'll condense it down obviously to a quarter-finals, semi-finals and a final. There are 750 ATP ranking points on offer, so this is a big event.
And the 24 countries who compete, how are those decided?
So it will be based on the number 1 player from each country, and we'll go down the rankings. They're going to have this great chance to represent their country at the start of the year and help their teammates come along that journey.
And sitting here now, what do you hope that this event will achieve for the fans and for tennis?
I think any event, like when we started here in London at the O2 Arena, you want it to be a great fan experience. So it's an on-site experience, number 1. You get a chance to see a vast array of talent, and the depth in men's professional tennis at the moment I think is as strong as it's ever been. We've got global stars across a huge global diversity of countries, which is great. So you can attach yourself to various players and tournaments.
I wanted to ask you as well about the exciting news earlier in the week, the rebrand, the evolution of the ATP brand and the World Tour brand, the ATP Tour now. What was the thinking behind that, and also the new logo?
So really what we wanted to do is take stock and review our business, really. And we've come to this great crossroads where we're coming to the end of the greatest generation of players I think anyone's ever seen. We've got this incredible emerging talent, and we're looking to the future of the sport for the next 10 years, looking 10 years ahead of how can we attract a new audience. And we thought it was a time to have a brand refresh, new logo, and everything feeds off that. So it's modern, it's dynamic, it's bold, and we want to attract this audience mainly from sort of 24 to 40-year-olds to engage in tennis, the sort of light sports fans, and experience our show that we put on 64 times a year. I
know this event itself means a lot to you. Are you enjoying the O2?
Yeah, I mean, what a great event. This is our 10th anniversary here, and it's been such a huge success. It's become the biggest indoor tennis event in the world ever, and I don't think many people would have said that when we started the event. And it's sustained, this whole 10-year period remarkably, and you get to see the top 8 singles guys in the world and the top 8 doubles teams in the world. There's no event like it, and the fans keep coming, and London and the O2 Arena have been spectacular.